Peace and love, fam. It's Moreno Bey. I'm back. I got information today. Check this out. Today I'll be hitting a series of historical events that occurred way back. Okay? What I'll do is I'll focus on October 30th, in which one historical event occurred. Then I'll go to October 31st, which is today, in which they call Halloween. Then I'll go into November 1st, which is All Saints Day, and I'll break that down. Gradually after that, what I'll do is I'll go into signs, symbols, symbology, and its meanings of what different signs and symbols actually mean versus what people assume. All right? Because social engineering got us in a daze. All right? They got us in a daze. What they've done is they've created so much fear. And when we see certain things, we are automatically associated with something evil, something bad, something grotesque, and so on. All right. So my purpose today is to break these things down so you can have a better understanding, overstanding, and understanding of different historical events, different images, and so on. Okay. My first topic is I'll be dealing with the Banquet of Chestnuts. What that is it's a historical event that happened October 30th, 1501, dealing with the Pope and his son, Pope Alexander VI, and his second son, Caesar Borgia. All right, so I'll get right into it. On the night of October 30th, 1501, a huge banquet was organized in the Papal Palace in Rome, to which its members of the nobility and senior officials in the Catholic Church were invited. The event became known as the Ballet of Chestnuts and will go down in history as the pinnacle of debauched excess that epitomized the corruption and grotesque indulgence of Rome under the Borgias, and in particular, Pope Alexander VI and his second son, Caesar Borgia. People, it's about to get good. I'm telling you, it's about to get good. I'm about to go in. I'm about to break some things down. So just have your mind open, all right? As entertainment for the guests, 50 of Rome's comeliest prostitutes were selected, and after the feasting was over, an orgy of epic proportions ensued. Chestnuts were strewn all over the floor, and the guests were invited to observe as the naked courtesans gathered them up. So in other words, the people were on hands and knees gathering the chestnuts butt naked, butt booty naked, all right? According to contemporary reports, the onlookers did not remain onlookers for long. Making full use of the courtesans provided. Pope Alexander and his family were among the spectators, and there were reports of prizes being awarded for displays of exceptional virility, meaning sexual performance. All right, man, these folks were freaks. You hear me? These folks were freaks. Check this out. The event shows the extent to which the Pope and his entourage enjoyed a lavish and indulgent lifestyle, often at direct morals odds with the expectations of the papal office, and helps explain the negative image of Rome under the Borgias. Now check this out. Whatever you do in private is private. I mean, that's your business, right? But when stuff starts to go public, dealing with stuff like this, like sexual encounters, rape, murders, anything that's negative, in those aspects, it becomes very problematic. All right. Can you imagine Obama and Michelle doing these things and they get out to the public? I mean, the respect is gone, right? Check this out. The House of Borgia was a noble family of Spanish origin, which rose to prominence in the Catholic Church in the mid-15th century. Rodrigo Borgia became Pope in 1492, choosing the name Alexander VI. His rise was doubtly swift. His main rivals for the papal chair apparently receiving vast sums to forego their ambitions and support Rodrigo. His reign as Pope was epitomized by lavish living, ruthless suppression of critics and rivals, the amassing of a huge personal fortune, and an insatiable appetite for pleasures of the flesh. However, he is also noted for his significant influence on the Age of Enlightenment, his love of splendor and magnificence, dictating that fortunes were spent on encouraging advances in the arts and architecture. He died in 1503. Pope Alexander had at least 5 children. His son Caesar was born around 1475, had a reputation that exceeded that of his father in matters of depravity and debauchery. Gross nepotism had allowed Caesar's rise to prominence. His father ordained him as a bishop at age 15 and then cardinal when just 18. Caesar was the first cardinal to ever resign when he decided to pursue a military career, becoming his father's military mastermind and chief protector. He instigated a number of military conflicts, in part to demonstrate papal strength, but also in order to gather the riches that facilitated the excesses of the regime. He was feared for his singular brutality and apparent lack of morals. Rumors were rife that he was responsible for the murder of his older brother Giovanni and that he was involved in an incestuous relationship with his own sister Lucrezia. He died in battle in 1507. The Ballet of Chestnuts is undoubtedly the most notorious event in the history of Borgia papacy, but it was evidently characteristic of a regime that embraced greed and excess in many different forms. Now, I got this reference from the historychannel.com, okay? So that's where it's coming from. You know, even though it is more information out here, but this is where I got it from, okay? Now check this out. I read that for a reason. I read that so I can actually go into another very, very interesting subject. Now, if you don't know, people, Caesar Borgia is actually the guy that's up in most people's homes. Now think about it. Most so-called black people have Caesar Borgia hanging on their wall or it's in their churches. What I mean is the guy with the blue eyes, with the sometimes blonde hair or brown hair, with the beard, the picture of Jesus. Now, if you doubt this, I'm about to go into something else about false images and how Caesar Borgia actually became what you call Jesus today. All right? Check it out, people. False images of Christ. You have Caesar Borgia, and then you have a picture of Jesus Christ, okay? Caesar Borgia is in the book entitled Triptych. It's spelled Triptych, of Poisoners. And it's also in the book entitled Caesar Borgia, His Life and Times by Sarah Bradford. Between 1502 and 1503, he employed Leonardo da Vinci as a military architect and engineer, in which him and Leonardo da Vinci became intimate instantaneously. They were lovers. Damn, boys was lovers. To express his love towards Caesar, Leonardo painted many pictures of him. Caesar's father, Rodrigo Borgia, who later became Pope Alexander VI under the authority of the Catholic Church elite, had his son picture put up as Jesus Christ in the Western world. Now, where's the Western world? We're in the Western world, North America, or Al-Maghrib, Al-Aqsa, Morocco, the extreme west, okay? Caesar had sex with his own sister, Lucrezia, and he killed his brother Giovanni in 1497. Man, this dude right here, man, you know, this dude's ruthless, man. This dude didn't give a damn about nothing. You understand? Nothing. All right, he killed his brother Giovanni in 1497, and this is the man whom the Catholic Church gave their consent to allowing his picture to be put up and portrayed as Jesus Christ to deceive the whole world to think Christ was European. Okay? Now, we all know that a lot of our people say that, well, you know, Jesus was a brother. You understand? Now, I'm breaking down how Caesar Borgia became Jesus. Okay? See, what most people don't know is there was a competition during the time called the Renaissance period between Leonardo da Vinci and the well-known Michelangelo. The competition was to see who could impress the king by a making of a new image of the king's son that would deceive the world, in which Leonardo da Vinci won the competition. The original King James Bible of 1611 had the Apocrypha in it. But in 1928, under the Vatican, they made an agreement to take 14 books out of the King James Holy Bible. Okay? There's several books missing out of that book. Okay? That's why everything is so twisted. Okay? Because people don't understand the true history. So I'm breaking the true history to you. I'm breaking it down. I'm bringing it to you. Open your mind. All right? Open your mind. All right. Why, you might ask? All right. Well, because thousands of years before they put his image up to be Christ, they found out that it was written of in the wisdom of Solomon, located in the Apocrypha. Apocrypha. Let me pronounce that right. Apocrypha. That's what it's. That's how you pronounce it. That's one of the original Bibles. Apocrypha. That they would do this and the reason for it. So knowing this was written of it in the wisdom of Solomon, which is one of the books in the Apocrypha. The Roman Catholic Church took it out of the Bible so the people wouldn't figure out the deception. It is noted fact, when they did this, they knew exactly what Christ's people really looked like. They knew Christ and his people were not Europeans, but instead were actually what they say Hebrew, okay? But actually Hebrew are the ones that crossed over the river. So actually it's Moabites or Moors, who were dark brown people. So let's find out in the Bible first what Satan was going to do. And then when we find out what exactly was written in the wisdom of Solomon, that the Apocrypha had to be taken out and credited as unscriptural and not divinely inspired by the Catholic Church. Question. So what is written of in the Bible that said that Satan would do? Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. FYI, for your information. So it is written that Satan would deceive the whole world, in which he is doing this through the Catholic Church and through the so-called children of God called the Jews, who are really the children of Satan, in which they say. So we'll go, that's another story, but let me continue. Who are really the children of Satan, according to Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. So now we know Satan's plan is to deceive the whole world, and we know that through the Catholic Church and the so-called Jews are whom he is using to execute his plan. So now let's examine what was written in the Apocrypha that was so critical to our knowledge that it had to be taken out and defamed as being unbiblical and not divinely inspired. Okay? Question. This image that we see is said to be Christ and is portrayed all over the world as Christ, but says the word of God about it. The image is the picture of Caesar Borgia. Okay? The wisdom of Solomon, 14:8. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it, he because he made it, and it because being corruptible, it was called God. People, you got to really check this out and open up your minds, okay? It goes deep, okay? The rabbit hole goes deep. Your scripture says that which is made with hands is cursed, but why would it be so? Isaiah 2:8. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. Because the image that they put up, they call it Christ, which therefore, it not being Christ, made it a curse and a sin unto them, because they themselves made it with their own hands and fingers. So therefore, by calling it Christ, they give glory unto another, and not the true and living God. Therefore they worship it and give honor to it, was being God, which makes it idolish. So being corruptible, this image was called God. The image they're calling God is Caesar Borgia. So when the true people would begin to desire to learn about Christ, they would be told they worship this guy, which is Caesar Borgia, the son of Pope Alexander VI. Then they would ask, who is he? And they would be told he's Christ. Okay? So that's how Caesar Borgia became Christ, but it's hidden. Okay? So people understand the first Bibles. You have the Septuagint or the Septuaginta. You have the Apocrypha. You have different holy books that came before the modern King James Version, okay? So you have to do your research on this. I'm just breaking it down and putting it all in a nutshell, okay? All right, with that being said, what I want to do next is this. I want to read the definition of Jesus, okay? I'm about to come out of the American College Dictionary. This was, I think it was published in 1940, I believe. So it's a good older dictionary. I deal with older dictionaries. I like them old because they're not heavily edited. They're mainly unabridged. So what we'll do is we'll look up Jesus and see how it's worded in this dictionary. If I can find it. Okay, I'm almost there. Okay, I found it. Jesus. It says Jesus now, and it says now, okay? It says the founder of the Christian religion. Also, Jesus Christ. Now remember, people, you got to go to the brackets, okay? You got to go to the etymological meaning of the word. Etymology is dealing with the origin of words, how long it's been in existence, what language it comes from, what part of the world it derived, and so on. Once you go into the etymological brackets, you go into Middle English, goes into Greek, and then it shows you where it says Hebrew. Now remember, people, in Hebrew, the letter J does not exist, okay? And next to where it says Hebrew, it says Yeshua, which was Jesus' proper name, his real name. It wasn't Jesus, it was Yeshua. And earlier before Yeshua was Yahoshua, okay? And it shows the literal meaning. It says Jehovah is salvation, okay? Now, I'm going to take a red ink pen and I'm going to hold this up to the camera and I'm going to underline Yeshua, Yahoshua, and I'll have an arrow pointing to Jesus. That way, you can see it for yourself. Okay? Hopefully, y'all can see this. All right. Now, since we got that out the way, next thing I want to discuss is I'm going to go into the Circle 7. All right. I got to go into the Circle 7 now. I got to go into the excerpts from the Holy Quran, Circle 7, the questionnaire and oral statements. Okay. Now, check this out, people. The reason these lessons have not been known is because the Muslims of India, Egypt, and Palestine had these secrets and kept them back from the outside world. And when the time appointed by Allah, they loosened the keys and freed the secrets. And for the first time in ages, have these secrets been delivered in the hands of Muslims of America. Okay? Now remember, people, what people got to understand is in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Circle 7, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, this book right here, what people got to understand is this. The reason he spoke about Jesus, the name Jesus, the word Jesus, Jesus, in this book, because this book was divinely prepared at a time when we were basically just coming out of servitude. And this is all our people knew was Jesus. Okay. So what he did was this. He explained the life teachings, the life works of Jesus from the age of 12. And he called him Jesus in the Circle 7 Quran because he knew it would be too much to call him by his proper name so soon to a people that just got out of bondage or was still in bondage. So that's why he referred to him as Jesus. So the Christians at that time can gravitate to him. Okay? So it was sort of like bait to a certain degree, just to get them in. Also, as well, when you're an infant, a minor in the mind, you have to get this information slowly. All right? Because we've been brainwashed for so many years. All right? All right. Now, I'm going back to the questionnaire, number 36. All right. If you go to the questionnaire, the 101s, and you go to 36, the first question is, what does the name Jesus mean? All right. And the answer is Jesus means justice. Okay. So Jesus did his thing from the age of 12 up until he passed because he was seeking justice. Okay. He was seeking justice. Number 37, did the angel give to the child called Jesus a holy name? The answer, yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin. What that means is, like what I stated earlier, you can't use his proper name if you don't understand the historical events behind it and why it wasn't told from the beginning, as far as us coming out of servitude. Okay, so that's why it says yes, but it cannot be used by those who are slaves to sin. Sin is ignorance. Okay, sin is ignorance. 43. I'm still in the questionnaire 101s. At what age did Jesus begin to teach? Answer, at the age of 12. 44. Where did Jesus teach? Answer, India, Africa, and Europe. Number 97. Who is Elohim? The answer is Elohim is the 7 creative spirits that created everything that ever was, is, and ever more to be. Okay? So I got to drop this science, people. Number 99 through 101 has the exact same answer. How many days are in a circle? Answer, 7. How many days are in a creation? Answer: 7. According to science, how many days are in a year? Answer: again, 7. All right. 7, we all know, is the number of perfection, completion. So it's so many things that deal with the number 7. I mean, you just got to really look into it. 7 is a powerful number, people. All right. Now, I'm going to go into the mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East. I'll go into that quickly, chapter 14. And this is the adult lessons, the higher degree. This is the book that comes after the Circle 7 Quran, when you're ready for the higher degree and to understand and know who Jesus really is. Now you're about to find out who he really was, what his name was. Even though the mission was taught in Circle 7, now you're just getting the higher degrees. Okay? So, people, in order to be an adept means expert. You have to go through degrees and lessons and build yourself up. Okay? You have to, people. The mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East, chapter 14. Number 1, the circle is the symbol of the perfect man, and the 7 is the number of the perfect man. The logos is the perfect word, that which creates, that which destroys, and that which saves. The Hebrew master is the logos of the Holy One, the circle of the human race, the 7 of time. And in the record book, the scribe wrote down the logos, circle 7, and thus was Yehoshua known. Okay? So people, you got to understand. That's why I wanted to break down. Alexander VI. I wanted to break down his son, Caesar Borgia, so you can have a timeline of understanding the Roman iron fist grip and how they indulged in sex, murder, deception in order to rule. Okay? And we still feel the effects to this day. All right? Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go into, again, the mysteries of the silent brotherhood of the East. And I'm going to go into chapter 1, and it's entitled Life and Works of Yehoshua in Egypt and India. See, now you're getting the higher degrees of his real, proper attribute or appellation or name. All right? You have to take this stuff slowly, people. You got to remember, you have people that's been in the church that's been ruled by Rome for many, many, many decades. Okay? And we're stuck. We're locked mentally. So I'm here to help free your mind, people. Okay? Chapter 1. Life and Works of Yehoshua in Egypt and India. And Yehoshua came to Egypt land, and all was well. He tarried not upon the coast. He went at once to Zoan, home of Alua, and Salom, who 25 years before had taught his mother in their sacred school. Number 2. And there was joy when met these 3. When last the son of Mary saw these sacred groves, he was babe. Number 3. And now a man had grown strong by buffetings of every kind, a teacher who had stirred the multitudes in many lands. Number 4. And Yehoshua told the aged teachers all about his life, about his journey in foreign lands, about the meetings with masters, and about his kind receptions by the multitudes. Number 5. Alu and Salom hears this story with delight. They lifted up their eyes to heaven and said, Our Father Allah, let now the servants go in peace, for we have seen the glory of the Lord. That's just a little bit, people. All right? That's just a little bit I want to hit y'all with. All right? Now, my second topic will be today. It's based on today. All right. I first dealt with October 30th with Alexander VI and his son, Caesar Borgia. Then I went back into history and broke down Jesus, how he became Yahushua, and how it was hidden from us. Okay? Now I'm coming back to today, which is October 31st, and the holiday in which they call Halloween. All right? So I'm going to go into it. Check this out, people. Check it out real closely. All right? Now, when you think of Halloween, you always think of children trick-or-treating, going to doors, receiving candy, dressing up as monsters, nighttime, ghouls, goblins, ghosts. You think of evil things. You think of spirits. You think of negative energy. But it's fun, according to society in these days. Okay? I want to read what Halloween is all about. All right? Check this out, people. All Saint Day is November 1st, as marked on most calendars. This is the day when the alignment of the earth plane and other astral bodies make it easier to be in tune with ancestral spirits. This happens every year. It is a celestial vibration or celebration. This means you can be in tune with the ancestors with greater ease, and they to you. Thus, this has always been a holy day for ancestral acknowledgement and honor of all saints. In more modern days, many who lack true knowledge have accepted others' adoption of this day into a negative day of ghosts and goblins. This has been taught to the masses as traditional, yet it is not a true tradition of the natural people. In addition, the opening in the cosmos is an opening for entering and exiting of spirits, of cosmological inspirations and higher vibrations of the universal mind as it relates to you. The manifested ritual of opening your door is indicative of the opening of the cosmos. You can be in touch with ancestral spirits via routine rituals at any time. However, when you open without knowing, you don't know if you are going to be or get tricked or treated. The point of the eve is to acknowledge the existence of that which is unseen. Hence, many put on masks, so you don't know what it is or who it is really behind the mask or costume. It is upon involving yourself in rituals without knowledge that the worst of this cosmological or celestial vibration can be experienced, as you must be cognizant and you must know so you do not suffer vulnerability from lack of knowledge. It is a trick to use children to assist in these rituals, although it seems so innocent and every child usually likes candy. The point of the evening, All Hallows Eve, is to acknowledge the eve of All Saints' Day, November 1st, and the unseen ancestral spirits that protect and guide you, or are acknowledging the eve of the unknown and unfamiliar, trick or treat. You understand? So people, you got to understand this. We have a lot of pagan holidays. Most of the holidays does not deal with the actual true factual origin existence of that holy day. Okay? Christmas, Thanksgiving, any of these so-called holidays does not deal with the holy side of it, the spiritual side of it. It deals with something that man has made for profit, for economical benefits. Okay? Now, my third topic is going into signs and symbols, people. Signs and symbols. And how signs and symbols mean certain things, especially within masonry. We have signs and symbols everywhere. I'm going to go into the Baphomet. the picture of the Baphomet with the goat head, the horns, the wings. I mean, looking at it from an automaton's point of view, or a person that has no knowledge, that lacks knowledge, they would say that that's an evil picture. Now, I don't know if you people remember the Truth DVD when they brought the Truth out, and it was speaking about all the celebrities that was doing sacrifices and stuff of that nature. They put the Baphomet picture within that DVD constantly. They spoke about it. They kind of referenced it, and the way they talked down on it was in a way to pump you with fear, instill fear. Okay, that's how the elite control a mass amount of people at one time, by pumping fear via social media, news, etc. All right. Remember, people, a picture can tell 1,000 words. All right, a picture can tell 1,000 words. You got to know this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down the Baphomet picture the best of my ability. Okay. Now, you have a human body. You have a goat's head. You have horns. You have a five-pointed star right in the center of the forehead. You have snakes that's curling up the stomach. You have the word solve on the right forearm, okay? And you have the word coagula on the left forearm, okay? I mean, again, you have wings, you have skulls in the background, you have a picture of Tahuti, Hermes. I mean, it's insanity if you lack knowledge, okay? If you lack knowledge, this picture is insanity, okay? It would look evil, all right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down to the best of my ability from the bottom, and I'll work myself up, all right? Now, when you look at the picture, you start from, I'm going to start, the most obvious thing I see is the snakes. Now, connotatively, in modern time, people view snakes as something that's evil, okay? You can go back to the Bible days with Adam and Eve, and the serpent is speaking to them, trying to convince them to do something that's not right, okay? So people will call you, man, he's a snake. He's a low down, dirty snake, okay? But actually, anciently, historically, snakes have always been known for their wisdom. One reason because they shed their old skin, okay? If you look at the pharaohs of Egypt, they have a serpent right in the middle of their crown, okay? It represents wisdom, knowledge, and the shedding of an old body coming into new light, okay? So I'm looking at the two snakes. If you notice on the back of an ambulance truck, if you notice on the side of an ambulance truck, you'll see the same symbol, and it's the snakes that's going up a pole, all right? Again, what that represents is the pole represents the spinal cord, all right? The snakes represents the kundalini energy that spirals from the base of the root chakra, and it works its way all the way up to the crown chakra, okay? Kundalini energy is what you call coil. It's a coiling, okay? That motion, all right? Dealing with chakras. Again, working from the base all the way up to the crown through degrees of different spiritual understanding, overstanding, all right? Now, as I work my way up, I see the word coagula on the left forearm of this Baphomet picture. And when I looked this word up, it said this word has been around since 1658, and it means that something must be broken down before it can be built up. Now, to me, that's self-explanatory, okay? Because you have to break this stuff down. You just can't take it for face value just by looking at it, all right? And on the right forearm, right here, it has solve, like if you were to solve a problem. All right, now, as I work my way up, again, you got a goat head on a human body, okay? You had a lot of mythological creatures historically that had animal bodies, human heads, animal bodies, and vice versa, all right? You got the centaur, which represents Sagittarius, the zodiac sign, which is a man with a horse's body. You have the Baphomet that has a goat head with a human body, okay? You got Tahuti, which has a bird head with a human body. All of this is symbolics, people, okay? The goat head and the horns has always represented in African culture fertility, dealing with feminine. Now remember, people, dealing with feminine energy, okay? Fertility, dealing with feminine energy, all right? And as you look right here in the brow chakra, you have a 5-pointed star, again, that represents Venus, feminine energy, okay? We use it on our flag. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Each point represents those attributes: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, okay? And as well, it's a circle around the head of the goat, again, which represents completion, infinite, okay? Also, the goat has huge wings, like angels have wings, okay? The wings represents sort of like symbolic to the wings of Mayat, okay? Which represents truth and protection, okay? There's nothing evil about this picture whatsoever. Now, looking at it for the first time, viewing it, and you don't know, yes, okay? And then right above the hand gesture over the right hand, you have the crescent moon, okay, which is dealing with mother, okay? For example, you have the crescent and star. The crescent moon represents the mother cradling her child, okay, because it's kind of made like this. And you have the star, and it's cradling it, and it deals with Venus, again, feminine attributes, people. So this picture is nothing evil. Actually, it's everything that's positive, but you have to understand, overstand that, all right? And that's real. Now, what I'll do next is I'll read a quick paragraph on Venus, quickly. According to the biblical divine scriptures, man was manifested in the flesh on the 6th day of creation. Now, you can look into the book of Genesis to see that. The 6th day of the week is Friday, ruled by Venus, Vernes. Vernes and Venus are the same. Vernes means Friday in Latin. Friday is a holy day all over the earth. Copper is the alchemical metal for the planet Venus. 6th day, Vernes, Friday. Therefore, it is obvious upon reflection that the copper-colored Native Americans, Al-Moroccans, Moors, are the first people formed in the flesh and are the aboriginal and indigenous people of America, Al-Morocco. And Al-Morocco, America, is the heartland of civilization on the planet. Okay? On the planet, people. The true light bringer, Notice that in the hand of the Statue of Liberty is a torch symbolizing light. Light means knowledge. Thus, the Statue of Liberty is symbolic of the copper-colored American woman and Venus, the light bringer. Unfortunately, many have codified Venus, the light bearer, as Lucifer, and have codified Lucifer as some negative entity or in a negative manner. In doing so, they have buried the truth about the woman and Venus, who rises as the morning star and the evening star. Lucifer, in its origin translation into English, literally means light bringing or light bearer. All right? People, it's imperative to study. And when you have got done studying, study yourselves. Okay? This is real, people. This is real. All right. Now, what I'll do is I'll get into the chakras. Chakras in Hinduism, a chakra, well, chakra is Sanskrit for wheel. They're like energy sensors that turn, that spin within the body on a spiritual level, okay? This is what I was speaking about earlier about the Kundalini energy, how it coils up the spine when you ascend to a higher level, okay? In Hinduism, a chakra is thought to be an energy point or node in the subtle body. Chakras are believed to be a part of the subtle body, not the physical body, and as such are the meeting points of the subtle, non-physical energy channels called nada, N-A-D-I. Nada are believed to be channeled in the subtle body through which the life force, prana, non-physical or vital energy, non-physical moves. Various scriptural texts and teachings present a different number of chakras. It's believed that there are many chakras in the subtle human body according to the tantric texts, but there are 7 chakras, again, 7, that are considered to be the most important ones. People, this information is real as it get, okay? It's real as it get. What I'll do quickly before I close, I'll speak on chakras. I'll go into a few things about chakras. All right. We'll start at the root chakra, which is the base of the spine. Okay. Its physical property is dealing with anxiety, dyslexia, grounding, and physical plane. Okay. So with those attributes, you can just think about people that deal with those areas I just spoke of. Their life evolves around that, okay? But as you ascend slowly in life, eating right, you start to think right, exercising, being around positive vibrations, you ascend. So your chakras start to align and your thought patterns ascend, okay? You will no longer do the things that you have done in your past. Things of like, just having sex with anybody, selling drugs, using a lot of profanity, thinking negative thoughts, murdering, pimping, all of those negative things. Once you ascend and your chakras are aligned and balanced, those things go out the door, okay? All right, the second chakra is dealing with the navel, okay? It's in the navel area, and the color is orange. Now, the base of the spine, the root chakra, is red. So let me get back to number 2. The navel, the sacral chakra, is orange. Now, its physical property is life force, aliveness, energy, sex, and creativity. Now, people that deal with material things, people that's always thinking about sex, always having sex, this is where they are, okay? People that always want to, have material stuff like cars, homes, clothes, things that really don't mean anything, this is where they are in their lives. They're at that root base area in their lives. Okay. You have the solar plexus, which is 3, and it's yellow. And its physical property is the body's battery, gut instinct, low intuition, okay, and vital energy. Number 4 is the heart chakra. Its physical property is center of love for self, others, God, emotional balance. See, you're starting to see when you get to that heart chakra, you do things from the heart, okay? You don't have any evil intentions. You do it from the heart, okay? That's why we say peace, Islam, because it's coming from the heart, all right? Number 5 is blue. You're dealing with the throat chakra, and its physical property is balance of yin and yang, and the male and female. It's dealing with communication. People that have reached the throat chakra, they are communicators, okay? They can communicate well, they speak well, they deliver well. Number 6 is the third eye chakra, which is the pineal gland. That's when it opens up. Its physical property is endocrine and nervous system, awareness, meditation, and intuition, okay? And then last but not least, purple, the physical properties of the crown chakra, which is here, the top of the head, is RNA, DNA, spiritual connection, thinking, okay? Metabolism. So people, it's all about ascending through life and its degrees, obstacles, and learning, okay? I really appreciate y'all tuning in to this video. I had a lot to bring to y'all today, and I had to sum it up in a nutshell, okay? So I appreciate that. Y'all tune in next time. I'm Moreno Bey. Peace and love.